Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Hammer of Vamos, the last of the blacksmith hammers, and without a doubt the worst of the blacksmith hammers. And for that matter, the worst weapon in the entire hammer class. But a little bit more on that later. Now, the Hammer of Vamos has a weight of 5 units, it has a C scaling in strength, and does split damage, split between fire and physical. And I believe with my 40 strength, the AR is slightly under 380, I think it might be like 378 or something like that, but it's pretty close, so let's just say 380 for the sake of me not being able to remember. That pretty much sums that up. Now, the pros and the cons of the weapon, I would have to say that the pros, or rather the pro of the weapon, would be a typical hammer class pro being a good stun locking ability and maybe good stamina damage. I mean, if someone blocks, it'll do decent, I guess, but I mean, people don't really tend to block against this thing, so I didn't really get to test that out, see if it was the same. I'm assuming it is, though, so might as well count that as a pro too, I guess. Now, the cons of the weapon are far more apparent. There are a lot more of them. In addition to the typical blacksmith hammer cons, being the fact that, you need to kill a blacksmith in order to get the hammer, in addition to that, I would have to say that the biggest con of the weapon is the low damage output. I mean, look at that hit on that backstab. It was 380 damage. That's just bad. That is just bad. I mean, my AR is 380 and a backstab does 380. That's not right. It shouldn't be like that. But because it's split damage and it's low damage to begin with, it really is a very low damaging weapon. That's really what I'm trying to get at. The damage output on this thing is just awful. Now, the other cons of the weapon, I would have to say, would be the typical hammer class cons, being the slowish swing speed, the whiff animation if you miss, and it's got a shortish reach to it, but it's still fairly decent. Now, the reason why I'm saying that this is the worst weapon in its entire class of weapons would be for, well, a few reasons, actually. Now, if you compare it to the Morningstar, it has a higher AR, and it hits roughly about the same, actually a little bit less because this is split damage and the Morningstar is not. But in addition to the fact that the Morningstar has a lower AR but still hits higher than this, you have the fact that the Morningstar has bleed buildup. So that makes it unique and makes it more useful than this hammer. If you compare the hammer to the club, the regular club, not the reinforced, they have roughly the same AR, but again, this is split damage on the hammer, and on the club it's not. So again, it will be out damaged by the regular club. As far as the weight is concerned, the majority of other hammer class weapons have a weight of 4 units. The blacksmith hammers are the only ones that weigh more, being 5 units and 6 units for the blacksmith hammer and the Hammer of Vamos, and 6 units for the giant blacksmith hammer. Also, the war pick has a weight of 3.5. But all of the other hammer class weapons have a weight of 4 units. So in addition to weighing more, doing split damage and doing significantly less damage than all of the other weapons in its class, it really just falls short and isn't worth killing your blacksmith over because it's just not that good of a weapon. Now, I had fun using it. I do like the way it looks. I do wish, though, that it had a higher damage output because then it would be, practical. But if you think about it at low levels, it would be pretty useful. Because, I mean, weapons that have split damage are useful at low levels. That's just the way it is. At 125, though, it's kind of pushing it quite a bit. But if I was using this weapon at, say, level 40, yeah, it would be viable for PvP at that level. Now, that pretty much sums it up. To quickly recap, the main pros of the weapon are the hammer class pros being the stun locking ability and the stamina damage. The cons would be you have to kill a blacksmith. It has a very, very, very low damage output. It's got the typical hammer class cons, and that pretty much sums it up. So this is the last fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful in some way. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I will see you next time.